Hello. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday.
We made it to Friday Eve.
Oh, is that what we call this
I know
now?
Well, someone downstairs just said it to me. I liked it.
I love it. Well, happy morning of Friday Eve.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing out there? Let us know you're hopping on and joining us today. I'm going to do a little bit of talking at everyone before you guys get to craft with Susan.
With my favorite stuff, I'm so excited.
Yes, I know. Perfect kit for you to, or not kit, perfect
Throwback. Yep.
for you to kind of debut a second time, because I know this was originally a desire of yours, and
yes,
just seeing all of the extra things that we can do with this, with some of the new products that are coming
I
or
love it
have
all
released.
so much.
Yes. So good morning. Hello, Amy. Mindy's here this morning. Hi, ECs. Happy TBT day, she says. Good morning, Linda. And Christine's here. We've got watchers from both Facebook and YouTube, so
Yeah.
we know everything's working.
That's always a positive sign.
That is great. I love to feel like, whew, okay, we're on, we're live, we're here.
We made it.
People can see us. Okay, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, Throwback Thursday, if you have just kind of joined us for the month, or maybe you haven't heard of this before, we started at the beginning of March, and this will be going all the way through April. Every Thursday, we will be doing a throwback release. So it's our Throwback Thursday release, and with those, we release, potentially they are products that were previously offered in a kit. Maybe it was a Black Friday bundle or an exclusive offer. We are going to be releasing those into our collection. That means that if it sells out, it will restock, so don't worry.
Part of our catalog now.
Yes, these are part of our catalog now. But kind of the cool thing for those of you that want to add anything from this collection to your collection, if you purchase between now and next week Thursday, before the new TBT launches, you get, Susan's gonna hold it up, you get this set of inspiration cards. So we have come up with project inspiration and then pulled color combinations out of that. The cool thing about this is you can store them in our mini slim binder and our mini slim stencil storage sleeves. They fit in there, and you can reference them anytime you're looking for color inspiration, or even just card inspiration, project inspiration to get started using these products. So currently the only way to earn these cards is to purchase something from the Throwback Thursday category, and to do that before the next Thursday when a new set launches with new products.
It just automatically goes in your cart.
Yes,
I've
it
tried
does. You don't have to add it or have any special coupon code. It's just automatic. When you add something from the Throwback Thursday category, it will automatically add to your cart. People are loving the Throwback Thursday, Marcia says, and the color inspiration sheets. When is the sweatshirt available? Soon. Actually, we have set a date in April for an apparel release, and so we're excited to bring that to you guys. I know you have waited probably over a year for this particular sweatshirt that I keep wearing because it is one of my favorites. But yes.
I wore my TE stuff yesterday. We should have communicated.
I know sometimes we're matchy-matchy without communicating, and other times we aren't. So, it's okay.
We got to work on that.
We don't have to have all the things together, right?
Right.
Your projects are very coordinated, and I love them. I can't wait for you to share with everyone what you're doing with the new stencil and dies. So much fun.
I'm excited.
All right, well, I am going to, one more thing I wanted to mention, because we still have a few of these left. So we were offering
Vanna light again.
You're going to be Vanna? Okay, how do you do that? Vogue. No, that's...
It's Price of Right, actually, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little Let's Make a Deal. Does anybody watch that show with the... I don't know her name, but she's blonde and she's so cute. And and she just does her little arm twist.
I know. Even when it's the wah wah.
Yeah, even when it's a
the
zonk.
Bad one. The
Isn't
zonk,
that what it's called? A zonk. Yeah. Well, we're getting off track. Oh, bless you.
Sorry.
Oh, Susan's not at quite 100% today, so notice she's inching farther away from me.
I do not want to get Taylor sick. Yeah.
No, we're doing okay. So The other promotion that I wanted to talk to you about was launched on Tuesday, and we still have a few of these left. So if you're placing an order of $75 or more, you get these free Sticker to It Rainbow Bright stickers.
Love them so much.
Envelope
Love
seals,
them.
treat bags, even on cards. You can use them for lots of different things. So
There's 4 different kinds. You get 3 of each.
yeah,
They're so
12
cute.
stickers on there.
Very cute.
All right, so that's what we have going on, and you guys get to get crafty now.
Yay.
Exciting. Okay,
Go over all the things.
see you later.
Bye. Yes, I've got just the overall design team cards to show you to start with before I get into mine. So this was, what was the name of the kit, Taylor? It was a year ago.
With all my art.
With all my art, yes. And it was released 1 year ago in March, and I loved it. Of course, I loved it because it was kind of something I had in my head, and I love how it came together. So I have been waiting because we brought out, like, the sentiments came out, and the coordinating dies are in our collection and have been. So are the insiders. Those stayed in our collection. But then the rest of it, like the cute little paintbrushes, I've been waiting for all of that to come back. So, this, I think the stamps. So here are the stamps, the Splash of Color stamps. I love this. And then we have a coordinating stencil, which makes a very similar idea, but I feel like it's a lot easier to like do a whole background maybe with the stencils. So there's 2 stencils, and we're going to work with those today. 3 stripes on one and 2 on the other, and then they come together to make 5. So yeah. And then someone says the little blob. Okay, yeah, look at this. So this Jill made, and of course she's got her cute little stitching to make, and she added googly eyes. We always joke, like, where is Jill going to add googly eyes in this release? We love it. We also just love her little stitching. So all of these with the little stitching are from Jill. I really do apologize. I caught something. I went to the Big 12 tournament down in Kansas City this weekend, cheered on my Cyclone team, and came home with some sort of cold. So I apologize for my voice, and if I have to sneeze again, hopefully that will not happen again. Came out of nowhere, so I apologize. But back to Jill's little, again, this is the sentiment set for, I'm sorry, I was talking about Splash of Color. Again, this is the little ink, this one that she added to these. So all of these, a majority of these that I'm looking at right here, this one is the stencil, but I think all of the rest of these are the blotches and the stamp set, whatever the brush strokes are. Everything from the blob to, this might be the stencil too, actually. I'll take that one out. I think the rest of these, because I made this one, so I know this one's from the stamp set. Yeah. And this is part of our new, that I'll get to this in a second, but this was a part of the kit, and I believe that's where all of this came from. All of the swatches in the background that you see are from this Splash of Color. Then this is the stencil that was in the kit. It's called Bold Brush Strokes, and I believe that would be, let me get these out of the way for a second. Gosh, they're so much pretty, right? I couldn't even cover it all. That's where these, because they're a lot longer. And then, yeah, that's where those came from. And I'm going to show you quick a couple of my cards that we're going to walk through today. And I use the stencil in the background of those. I love the stencil. I love it all, but I really like the ability to kind of go outside the box and kind of put them where I want, to use as much of them, the stencil, as I want. I love the unique ends that each of them have. So that makes a difference to me. Like if I want my end to look more, swatchy, or I'm talking about the brush flicks at the end. They're all very different. So that's the stencil. Let me see, what else am I missing? I want to leave the new stuff. This was also a part of the kit. Obviously the brushes. And we had tons of brushes that we used in our samples. I love the brush. There's a small brush and a big brush. This is the small one, and this is the bigger one. I just think that is so fun. I'm just so excited for it to be a part of our collection so that I can use it often. Here's my other card that I'm going to walk you through today that I made that has the brushes on it. So when you go to that category, anything that's brand new will say new. Anything that might have been in the kit in case you did buy it, which I hope you did because I loved it. Anything that it was from the kit, just in case you don't buy it, so you don't buy twice, is won't say new on it. So we're bringing it back, but we added a few new things. So I think that was, and then of course like I said, the With All My Art sentiment set and die, that has been in our collection. We brought it back, left it, so you've been able to buy this one for a while, but it will also be in that category so that you can earn your true colors. So, but on to the new stuff, because we love new, right? So I had tons of ideas when it came to this collection and this kit. So when we got to bring it back out, I was excited because we could add a few more things. And one of the things that I really, really loved was that heart. It happened to be on the kit bag, your zipper bag that all your stuff came in. I loved that heart. So we added a few more like icons to go with that. So this is brand new and it's in that category and it will say new. So here's the butterfly and the heart, and we have a coordinating die. We do not have one for this tile look, but I just love it. So these are the cards I'm going to kind of talk to you about today. And then these are a couple that Jill sent into us. Again, you'll see her cute little stitching. Let's see. Oh, right there. It's on the paintbrush. But she used the butterfly, and this is the stamp set. The brush, the splash of color stamp that she used in the background. And then again, here's our paintbrushes. This is the bigger one again. And I just love how it all comes together. I see so many possibilities with this. I feel like if you did it kind of in color tones that are more masculine, that could be so cool for a guy's card. I'm going to check my, yep, the die is out of stock. That's something that we came across this morning. So yes, we apologize. The dies to the All My Art are out of stock. We sign up for the notification, but this has been in our collection for, I think since last year when the kit was released, or shortly thereafter, because the dies to the sentiments, you could buy outside the kit. So we eventually just went ahead and added the sentiment set for you. So that has been around for a while. So maybe check your collection, make sure you don't already have it. Let's see, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. I think so. So let's go. Anyway, but sign up for the notification, and I even do it like when there's things that I want. And you'll get an email as soon as they restock it, so that it also kind of is a good reminder to be like, oh yeah, I meant to get that. I wanted to come back for that, so that you don't miss out, I guess. So let's, again, this is Jill's. I believe she used our new bubble gum, and then this looks like tropical punch, pineapple, and then I believe that's cilantro, but that is a guess. And then her butterfly, again, she used the die for that one. But this stencil was used to make both. So it is a 6x6 stencil, so you get these three imageries, or three icons out of it. So let me show you. These are the cards that I made with that, because I just love this. And I loved how the butterfly came together. The heart was inspired by the sticker that was on the outside of the kit. So, oh, the title of you're right, thank you. It's called Painterly. I apologize, I never even said it. So Painterly is the name of the stencil, and of course the coordinating dies. Thank you for that. I hadn't even said anything yet. And thank you for all the well wishes. I really apologize. You have to listen to my croaky voice, but hopefully we'll make it through, right? So let's get started. I'm going to grab my paper here. I have a piece of 6x6 cardstock. That's what I'm going to start with. And I know everyone has a different way of ink blending, and they all work great. I have a habit of wanting to put some tape or a temporary piece of tape on the back side of my paper. I just like to hold it in place. And we have this wonderful 6x6 square, but I'm a little short, so I'm going to move it down so that I can use it. But again, it's called Painterly is the name of the stencil we're going to use. I'm going to use the one I already have open and have been using. And again, as always, ours have like an etching guide on them. So this is, I want to get mine in order. I should have done that yesterday when I cleaned them, but I didn't. Let's get them in order because I do have a method to my madness with my colors. So my color inspiration too, I have that all mapped out for you guys. I have to admit, Lori Craig, while she was here for Stamp Joy, used one of my true colors that I had put together, and she had ink blended this, but she didn't do any samples with it. So I thought, well, I'm going to go back and do this because it was so pretty when Lori had it here a couple of weeks ago. So Sour Gummy is its own layer, but Spearmint and Cilantro I put together. And then the Dragon Fruit, she had done this. She had added a little plum punch to darken that up. And the Guava, then she added a little fruit punch to darken that up. The Peach, not using that for this project, but I will show you how each layer kind of comes together and how I chose what goes where. So for the first layer, again, like I said, I've got my cardstock. I already have something on my cardstock. That was quick, right? Let's grab the other one. Good thing I have a backup plan. It's probably nothing. I could probably use some sand eraser to get that off. But so I like to always have my stencil numbering in the bottom. Gosh, I thought I put them in order. Bottom right corner. And I'm going to start with 1. This one, I don't think there's a method, but here in the office, we do try to come up with the best way to build your pattern. So we do try to put them in order so they do mean something. So let me get a few pieces of teal tape out. All right. I am going to go ahead and mark those squares. I thought with this one, especially with this butterfly and the heart, so that we make sure it fits within the die cut, it was important to go ahead and follow these markings. So I'm going to take just a piece of pencil and mark those off. Also, what I'm using as my card base is one of our 6x6 sugar cube cardstocks. We sell them in a pack of 10, and I buy them. I love them because for several reasons. One, I feel like when I take a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock and I cut that 6x6 out of it, I don't even have a card panel left or a card base left. So I do really like them because they're already cut. And I feel like I waste less of my 8.5 by 11. Plus, it's really convenient. Let me see, I'm making sure I'm not missing anything. I agree. I think this Painterly is cute. Really, really cute. So let's start with our layer 1. And for layer 1, I am going to, and I don't have one of my ink stands. Those are my favorite things. I Will Survive. I'm going to use a little guava today to start with for this one. Scooch those up because I don't want to get them dirty. And I'm going to use a little bit of a light hand because I do want a little bit of a gradient going on with these. So I'm going to start with guava. And again, this is layer 1. I'm going to put a little bit of fruit punch with it just to kind of give it some intensity and a little bit of a depth to it. When I ink blend, it's really nice to have that extra depth. I'm being really nice with it today. I got such a light hand, I've almost got to darken it up. And I'll show you, I'm going to come in with a smaller blender brush and the plum punch, or the fruit punch, to add just a little more depth to this. I know the butterfly body ends up being whatever color I ink blend. But if you want it to be brown, you could always mask that off. But I kind of liked just that it was just colorful and fun instead of realistic. So I don't, maybe if Whitney's listening, she can add the 6x6. Thank you, Marlene. The 6x6 papers. I just know that there's maybe there's stencil papers. I don't really know the name. And I, of course, didn't bring over the packaging. That would have been helpful. So that's our guava. Again, I apologize for my scratchy throat. I'm going to get a drink of water and see if that helps. I have been, I don't know, it came on just with a little cough and then all of a sudden, no fun, right? Now I have my fruit punch out now and I'm going to take one of our smaller blending brushes and I'm just going to hit like the middle of the butterfly. And so that I have a little dimension right there. And then the heart really doesn't matter, but I just kind of chose the bottom, what would be the bottom towards me of the stencil. I also feel like when I use my smaller blender brushes, not only can I get a better control of where I want my depth of color to be, but I can also get just in smaller areas. So I can get in the smaller areas and I feel like it's easier to get a deeper color. I don't know why that is, but I'll show you with the sour gummy when I get to that layer. So let's, just gonna add this fruit punch kind of in this, it would be the middle of this arc right in here. I'm just gonna let that kind of softly blend out so I have a little dimension. Sorry, I don't see. Oh, someone added it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To whoever added that, I appreciate that. Let's see, what is the name of it? Oh, yep, we sell them in Sugar Cube and Toffee. It's just called 6x6 paper packs. Nothing about stenciling, but that's what I use them for. I think that was the original intention. But it's very nice just because you lose so much of that 8.5 by 11, and I just don't have quite as much use for the leftover. Granted, you can do that. I just feel like the 6x6 is really helpful. So that's layer number 1, and I will take this and I'm going to move on to layer 2. I'm going to take this and wipe this up. That's what I was headed towards, just so I don't contaminate too much. The next color's pretty similar. I'm going to use Dragon Fruit and Plum Punch. So we'll start with our Dragon Fruit and layer 2. And I will use those etching marks that I put down. Grab my glasses just to make sure. And these stencils I've been just cleaning them up with alcohol, the spray bottle of alcohol and a microfiber cloth. I will say, anywhere that you have that little painted brush end, be careful with that. It can snag your microfiber cloth, so just kind of be a little bit careful with that one. I am going to grab another Ricola, then you won't have to listen to me cough, I hope. All right, a little bit of dragon fruit. Again, I'm going to tap that off a little bit. Try to use a light hand. That. I love these stencils where you get, like I get 3 cards out of blending these 4 layers. And I just love this one. I don't know, it reminds me of like a tile on a front step, or I haven't done a ton of traveling abroad. I'm sure there's something else that should be reminding me of, but it just reminds me of street tiles. And we owned an old brick house and it had that kind of shaping of the bricks at the front door on the step. It was really pretty. And I like making it colorful. And if you're not into like using the rainbow tones, There's so many things you can do with all of this that isn't rainbow. Like I even think this one, I gotta look. I wish I knew who did that one. I think it was Taylor. Just the fact that it's, I don't know, you've got your tones of color and it's bright and it's fun. It doesn't always have to be rainbow. This one, obviously, I don't think it is. But, all right, get the last of that dragon fruit, and then we will come one more in with, to darken it up with that plum punch. Again, I feel like I like the intensity that I can get with the smaller brush, and I like the detail area that I can get into with these smaller brushes. So a little bit of plum punch. Just gonna keep it kind of concentrated down in the bottom, as for me. And then the center of the body of this butterfly. And then just towards the middle of this arc. Get this just a little bit more. I don't know how many of you guys get into March Madness. I guess I've really gotten into college basketball more than I have NBA, but is anyone filling out brackets or doing any of that kind of stuff? I feel like I want to come back to this and add just a little bit more to this outside. All right, that's layer 2. Gonna need some more tape here too. Sometimes once you get ink on your tape, your teal tape, you can pick that up with your next brush. So don't forget to, sorry, there's a baby wipe that wanted to come along to help clean up, but I like using the microfiber cloth. I've even just rinsed those microfiber cloths out under the sink, in the sink in the kitchen. Just because I never know, like, if they're really full of ink, I don't want it on my clothes, but probably wouldn't make a difference in my laundry. But I've also just rinsed them out in the kitchen sink, my microfiber cloths, just to get the bulk of the ink out of them before I throw them in the laundry. Or I've even just hung them to dry then after I got most of my ink out. Let's line that up. Move on to the second or the third layer, and this will be our sour gummy. I'm doing this a little bit different on purpose because I wanted to see what the sour gummy looked like incorporated into my butterfly. So I think that's the way I did that. Let me double check that I'm doing this right. I just kind of wanted to try and see. Oh, nope, I'm doing it wrong. I want to, I'm going to use the Spearmint. I kind of wanted to see how, because this is on the upper part of this butterfly. I thought when I did it again, I kind of wanted to see what it would look like with the sour gummy more incorporated. Bring your eye into the center there. So let me do spearmint and cilantro instead. I'm sure it'll look fairly similar. I just, when I was all done, I kind of debated having this more in the middle of my butterfly. But the gist of it will still look the same. So again, this is spearmint. And then I'm going to use cilantro to darken it up. Let's see, am I missing anything? Oh, everyone's chiming in on their first time. Sorry, hockey fan. That's all right. We all have things, yeah. Fun things. And then, gosh, I can't say like 20 years ago if I had ever gotten into sports. I don't know. It's been in the last 15 years thing. I'm not really sure. Not sure where it came from. Just enjoy it now. I don't know. Are you guys all, I guess the better question, I guess, is everyone done with their Easter cards? I feel like I haven't gotten them done. That's a plan for this weekend because I'd like to have them sent out this weekend. I I ink blended some panels, but I just need to finish them up. But where are we at on our Easter projects? Are we all done? A lot of you guys are so far ahead of me all the time. I feel bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to catch up. So what are the projects you're working on? Is it Easter, or have you moved on to graduation and everything else? You will greatly impress me because I'll get them there in time, but I will be doing it this weekend, which is fine. I can watch some basketball and do some ink blending, right? So again, this is cilantro with the smaller brush. I'm just going to concentrate it towards the center of this arc that we have here, and then towards the middle of the butterfly, and then also towards the bottom edges of this heart. All right. Last but not least, let's get our sour gummy going. Save my tape from that one. I don't think the green would mess with the blue too much, so I can go ahead and use those again. So here's layer 4. I will wipe this up though. Let me see. Oh, Linda's listening to me while she's working on her Easter cards. I wish I had a little camera. I'd love to see what you're working on. Awesome, awesome. My girls are grown, so I don't need to worry about all the little things anymore, but it's just kind of fun. Done with Easter, Vicky says. Good job. Paula's working on birthday cards. I love it. Sue's also with the camp with me. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone. All right, I'm only going to, for this layer, every other layer I've had 2 colors. For this one, I just really wanted sour gummy. So I'm going to do a very light hand. So I tapped off quite a bit, and I'm using very little pressure while I blend because I want dimension without using 2 colors. I just felt like the tones of some of the lighter options that we have on our TE collection weren't quite what I wanted, but you can always use just 4 colors for these 4 layers and do what I'm doing with the sour gummy. Put down the first layer with a light hand, and then come in with some sort of detail brush or bitty brush to add that intensity. It will save you on having to haul out all the ink pads. And especially if you're traveling or camping or going to a crop with friends or something like that, and you find you don't have something, just use a light hand first. Just a little bit more because I'm still seeing a lot of the white from the cardstock show through. So I don't want that. I want light, but I don't want to see too much of my sugar cube showing through. I'm going to peek and see what I think. Oh, actually I like it. So then I can take more of my detail brush or my bitty brush and whatever you've got, and then concentrate a heavier hand towards the center and less tapping off. See, I'm getting that little extra color, but it's the same ink pad. Sometimes it's less thought too, like having to figure out what color to use. Less thought in your head to do it this way. If you just want to grab a smaller brush, a little bit heavier hand, there we go. I can already tell. I really like that. I love sour gummy. It's one of my new favorite colors. Dragon fruit came out longer ago, but I just recently started to really fall in love with it. Because I wasn't really a lollipop fan. I don't know why. I mean, I love the color, but I don't know. I just didn't craft with it much. This dragon fruit, I seem to grab for it all the time. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I am only going to show you how to complete the butterfly card, but I have a couple of things for this one that I want to show you. So I'm going to grab this back because I don't know, maybe we should see what the sour gummy looks like with the gold on it. I was going to, in my original one, I put it over the dragon fruit. Do you see that kind of sparkle? In this one, I went over that layer with our glitter, our happy medium, our gold glitter. I went over top of that one because I knew I was going to use some gold accents, and I really thought these colors really lended themselves toward the warm tone, the gold. So I added it here, but I'm kind of debating beings, the way my colors changed a little bit. I might try it over the blue just for the fun of it. Let's try it. So I'm going to clean the blue. Ask me how I know. I'm going to clean the blue off of here. It makes a difference. You don't have to, but if you want to save any of your leftover glitter grab or your happy medium and put it back in the jar, you're going to want to make sure you do this step. Like get the ink off of the top of the stencil before you do this. So, and that's the beauty, I think, of using an alcohol to clean. It's because it dries so fast. Like my stencil's dry. I don't have to use my rolling pin and towel anymore to dry. So I'm just going to show you, you know what, just so that we don't have to be so careful, I'm going to go ahead and cut these two off. So let me grab, I have one of the new Tim Holtz cutters. I still really like our Fiskars one because I like the string that runs down the middle, that guide. I'm going to cut these off so that they're ready to go for die cutting, and so I don't accidentally get any glitter grab on them. So let me set this down. I will bring our stencil in. Grab a few pieces of teal tape. If you guys have been around me, you know I really like using the hinge method when I use any of the glitter grab. I just really like not having to worry about my stencil shifting as I peel it up. So go ahead and put that right there. And I do have a bucket of water. I always keep, because in my house, my stamp room is nowhere near water. So I do always keep a bucket, and especially for you guys, because I can't run away and go clean it right away, right? Oh, Paula, she's finally going to learn how to use glitter medium. I don't know that you could use it wrong. My only one big tip for our happy medium is that you should use it over a color. If you want something very light, because this is translucent outside of where the glitter is, so I really think making sure you use it over top of color. So like we carry a glitter, I believe it's I know we sell a jelly donut, so that one's purple. Don't expect, if you go over sugar cube cardstock with the jelly donut happy medium, that it's going to look dark jelly donut. It's translucent, so, or transparent, wherever the glitter is not. The actual, I don't know what the word is, the actual medium that's around the glitter is clear. So make sure you put down like jelly donut first, and then jelly donut happy medium over the top. So with this, I'm obviously doing it differently. I've put down sour gummy. I'm going to put down some of the gold glitter underneath. So let's go ahead and put this over the top. Again, I've cleaned my stencil. I apologize if you hear that. We have a TV in the room here that sometimes goes off. We use it for like Stamp Joy Virtual and stuff like that. And for some reason it's going off saying I need to remain quiet, but I don't think you would like it if I did that, right? So if you hear a beeping, it's from the TV in here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this down because like you can see already, you can still see that sour gummy underneath. So when you use this, just make sure you use color underneath of it, whether it's tone on tone, the same color, or something like I'm doing now. So I use one of the Nuvo spatulas. That's my favorite to put it down. And then either a credit card, or I love the Stencil tool. I just dropped everything on the floor. I love using this, and I always use the beveled side So I like using this edge that's straight, but the beveled side I put down to my stencil and scrape straight down. And this way, being as I cleaned my stencil, this is all not contaminated. When I did this one, it was all pink. And being as I did it over top of the dragon fruit, so I had to throw all of that paste out. If you like to save your paste, please make sure you clean your stencil first. If not, if you're not going to use a lot, you're not going to have a bunch left over, don't worry about it. Just scrape it off and toss it. So I'll wipe these off. I just want to show you what this looks like. Because this will take, usually takes about an hour to dry. But what I was saying earlier is I like to have a hinge method. I always make sure one side is always taped down double so that I can't shift up, down, left, right, kick back, any of those things. So that I can go like that and pull it straight up. So this is going to be interesting while it dries, because right now it actually looks like it made the sour gummy look a little green. This one, I put it over top of the dragon fruit. So I said it was an experiment, worth a try, right? We'll see as it dries, it might get better. I want more of that sour gummy color to come through. So let's set that aside and put this other one in the bucket. And then something else I wanted to show you on this card was this paintbrush. I thought I did this with some of the, I did a card for the release this week. I think it was the Rainbow and Sunshine release. I did a paintbrush with rainbow colors on it. This one I wanted to add a little paintbrush icon to the side. I just want to show you how I did it. Two ways with the brush. You've got your paintbrush, you've got, and I used all my paintbrushes I cut out of our toffee wood grain cardstock. I just love it. I love the texture it gives to our paintbrush. So you can use either this whole thing to put color on, or you can leave some of the bristles white and just do a rainbow effect on this part. Completely up to you. I'll show you, maybe I'll do this one the other way just so you can see both. Let me go ahead and glue this one down with a little bit of Bearly Arts glue. I've been using this bottle, same bottle, on all these lives for how many years now? Still working my way through it. I think it's getting a little low finally. And then this part of the paintbrush I did cut out of gold foil because I wanted to keep the theme going. I know a lot of times they're silver or kind of a pewter color, but I really liked the gold to go with the rest of my card. Woo! Sorry, that was one of the magnets. They decided to be together. That scared me. Glad they didn't pinch me, but I'll hold that down with that for a second. Then if I wanted to get these four colors onto just the paint, like you've dipped your brush into the paint, I'll show you what I do. I, again, like to put a little tape on the back just so I'm not chasing it. And then I just need a little bit of Post-it tape. I'm going to take some, we sell this big Mac Daddy removable Post-it tape. I use it for all kinds of things in my stamp room. I take it, I'm going to tear it in half. I just want the two straight edges. And then I can find the middle of my paintbrush, mask that off however I would like. And I'm going to just put the cilantro or the green. I chose to not even really ink or put more ink on my brushes. What I had left in my brush seemed to be enough. So you might need to grab a little more, but pick either your cilantro or your spearmint. Then I'll take it and move it over, and then we'll put a little sour gummy. Again, I don't think I'm going to need to re-ink that. I do leave just, I'm talking a hair of a hint of the previous color because I don't want a white line. I'd rather have a little bit of an overlap than a white line between my colors. So when I lay my paper, my Post-it down, I want to see, I'm talking like a hair, like just a very, very, very fine line of that previous color. So then we will move to our guava. And I'm sure there's a little bit of ink still on the glass board that I might be picking up, but I don't think it's going to contaminate too much. And then I'll move it to the last one, which is our plum punch or dragon fruit. I'm going to grab the plum punch. And we'll grab a little dragon fruit. Just to get some color on the end of that. Got to come back to this. I must have had more color here on the glass surface than what I realized. So let me get rid of some of that. I want my guava to look like guava. Let me try again. Grab a little guava, add it to this. Hopefully we'll brighten that up a little. There we go. That looks more like guava. So then you can take this, wipe up my board here. I can take this, add a little bit of our Barely Ours glue to the back of it, and then you just have the part of your paintbrush that looks like you dipped it. Isn't that fun? I noticed someone else, one of these other samples, let me grab it, did the same thing. But see how that kind of turns out differently? You get more color on this one, but if you want kind of more of that true paintbrush imagery, that's why we added both of those die cuts to your set. Let me grab, someone else did it, this one. I thought this one was really cute too. So they just did this end where they were going to put the brush of the different colors. Let's see. I don't know who it was. I thought that one turned out really cute. All right. I just kind of wanted to show you that, how I made that brush. And again, we've got to wait for this one to dry. Still waiting. To me, it still looks really green. It's pretty, but set that aside for a second. All right. And I wanted to talk you through how I made this one. So we will get the dies out, kind of clean up my ink blending mess, right? So this is how the dies coordinate. So let me grab this one and I'll just show you the butterfly. The dies coordinate. They actually will go through at the same time. I was curious. Let's tape that down, run that through. I just love those so much. Sorry, I didn't want to bring the whole thing over. It all wanted to go with me. And I need my top plate. Let's run this through. Good morning. I'm still getting good mornings. Love the throwback and the coloring inspirations. Good. I'm glad. Making sure I'm not missing any of your comments. And again, if anyone's joining late, I apologize about my scratchy voice. So there's our heart. Isn't that fun? And then I wanted to show you how I made this panel. Where did I put my panel at? Here it is. There we go. So I, on both of these, did basically the same thing. I took the stencils that look just like paint lines. That one is called Bold Brush Strokes. That one was part of the kit. And I went ahead again. I always have my numbers for my stencils in the bottom right corner. It's just the way I do it. And then I angled them. I don't really have to mark because I can really just see where things are at, and this doesn't have to be lined up for a die or anything else. So I didn't mark these. And then again, but I am going to tape them down just so they don't move on me. You know what? I'm going to go against my rules. I'm going to rotate it. I can tell. I just like the little flicks on this one. A lot of how the paintbrush, like little flicks, look like they end. So again, personal preference, whatever you want to do. I just like this end, so I rotated it. They're a little different on each end. So let's come over here, and I want this to be really light because I want what I ink blended to kind of stand out. So I'm going to go so light that I'm not even gonna add ink to my brush. So let's go in, and I have to think about this because I want pink, green, blue, and then plum punch. So this color, I'm gonna make dragon fruit right here. So let's grab my dragon fruit, and I am going to use such a light hand that I'm not even gonna open up my ink pad right now. I am going to mask this off, and then I will use a little bit more of this. You could use just a scratch piece of paper. I just like using this removable labeling tape, and I do reuse it just so I don't get any color where I don't want it. But again, this is my brush that I used with the dragon fruit. I am not re-inking it at all. And then the next strip will be a guava, but that's with the next stencil when I get there. So no ink, I didn't open my ink pad. We'll move this down. And this one is going to be our spearmint slash cilantro. Again, I'm not inking my brush. The spearmint is a lot lighter. Thank you. I have my color combo sitting there if you're trying to take notes. Someone said they liked the color combo. I'm gonna grab the little bitty brush that had cilantro on it, but again, very light hand. Still did not add any ink to my brushes. And then I'll move it over to the last one, which will be my plum punch. And this, even lighter hand, because plum punch can be pretty strong. And I, like I said, didn't open my ink pad, didn't add any ink to my brushes. I might grab that green back. Where did I put you? Here. It's just looking really light. I can peek and make sure I like it. Nope, I'm actually good with that. So I will peel this up. I'm gonna keep a hold of my tape. And then we will grab the second stencil. And again, I can pick, do I like this side? Do I like that side of the way the brushes end? And then I am going to, besides trying to make them look fairly in line with each other as far as parallel, not overlapping, I'm going to dip the other two down just a little bit further. Again, a little masking tape just so I don't get it where I don't want it. This will be guava. Again, not re-inking it. No ink added. I am so glad you guys like the color combo. It's very unique. I mean, it was out of my inspiration box, but Lori had grabbed it while she was here, and I thought, I really like that too. So let's grab sour gummy now. Again, didn't add any ink to my brush, just using a very light hand. This I will have to peek because I'm not sure. Yep, oh, I don't want any more. I just love these. I feel like there's so much creative direction you could go with this, and creative license, and all the ways you could change this up and use this differently. So that's that. Then I want a panel that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because I went all the way to the edges with this one. I think these are both that. I've got my card base, and then I'm also going to do a gold frame. So let me grab my dies. Sorry, that's what fell on the floor earlier were my dies. So let me grab these. I know I don't want the biggest one. I believe it's the biggest and one down. So for the arch in my dragon fruit cardstock, I'm just going to take some Scotch removable tape, line that up. Again, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 dragon fruit. And I wanted that to go edge to edge to cover up my card front. And I'm going to move that out of the way, but while I have the die cutter here, I am going to cut the gold. I've got my die machine in view. Am I missing anything? Yes, me too. Good morning from Florida. Good morning for everyone that might be joining late, unless it's that whole repeat of excuse me, repeat of some of the comments, which happens for some reason. Okay, so then to make the other arch, I will take this tape, and I like to flip them over so I see the back side of my dies. Lay them down. Let me just scooch this a little bit out of the way. I like to lay them and just eyeball, and that works because it's just such a small area that ends up showing that I can line them up pretty well just by eyeballing the two dies. Actually need to move this one over a smidge. I just want to get my head in the way. You guys can see my crazy hair. Okay. Just so we can get another little arch to use. So I will put that on some gold foil cardstock. Run that through. I did cut my gold foil cardstock down to be just the width I needed so that I didn't have to waste any of it. All right, get that out of the way. All right, so here's our arch. That will go there. This I can save. These little hearts, I did end up even cutting out of there. It was the hearts that we released at Valentine's Day. Can't remember, there's one little die that cuts out 6 itty bitty hearts that I added on that one. There we go. And then our panel will go behind this. And I do want to put some foam around the backside, but it doesn't have to be a lot or anything major. I just want a little bit to help hold this up, just to give it just a little bit of dimension. So I have some of our squares. I will take a scissors and cut some of them into strips so I have some smaller pieces. You could cut bigger strips if you had our 1x3s. Fringe the foam, as Taylor always calls it, fringing her foam. Just want it to stick up just a little bit. Or if you have our foam strips, what did they call them? Foam adhesive strips, I believe we call them. And a lot of times we use them for shaker cards, so those would be very helpful. Good use of your foam there. All right. Couple more. I don't want it to sag too much, right? Yes, it would make a very cute shaker card. I absolutely agree. Just chose to go in a different direction. So with this one, I'm gonna go ahead and line that up behind. And as you guys have seen me do in the past before, I like to just kind of peel some of the backing off some parts, just so I'm not fighting it all when I'm trying to assemble it. So again, I have lots of little pieces to remove. The one, this foam strips would have been a great option for this. I didn't grab them this morning, but this works too. So I'm going to get this top row off, and then we will just like to center it over the top, and then I don't have everything grabbing at the same time. So I cut this at 4 by 5 1/4, just so it's a little bit smaller, so I don't quite have to worry about things sticking out or being in my way. Go. Isn't that fun? So that's what I did with both of these. This one I did the arc, this one I just did a frame. And then I also did the die that cuts all the little frames. I put one more over the top just to kind of bring that gold together. So again, this doesn't have to be perfect on here, but let's go ahead and get my foam tape peeled off for the rest of it. And then we will put this on a card base. I'm going to use some liquid glue for that. Well, a couple more here to remove. Again, seriously, if I would have used the strips, this would have been a lot easier. Made life hard for myself this morning. Okay. Then I have one of our top folding sugar cube card bases that were pre-cut for me and scored. I already took a bone folder and folded that. We will take that with some liquid glue on the back to hold that in place. You could use tape runner, whatever you've got. I like liquid glue when I'm doing a card base, mainly because I don't have to fight with it. I have a little bit of wiggle time. Just make sure your arc is at the top. So I'm gonna set that down, and then I do like to take, being as I do have that wiggle, I can take it and kind of stand it up to make sure I'm straight across the bottom. I don't have any sugar cubes sticking out. Then our butterfly, I cut out the heart, didn't I? I just needed to cut out the butterfly. Did you guys catch that? I'm sure you did. You probably were all like in the comments like, butterfly, butterfly. But this way I can show you what the butterfly looks cut out too. The heart works. I just like the butterfly. I think it's the having the two arcs against each other that I didn't really like. So I liked the butterfly a little bit better. So let's line this up. I won't bring my die cutter back in. I'm just gonna go use it quick. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Oh gosh, so pretty. So I'll put some foam on the back of that. Won't be as tedious for this one. There we go. Was going to have some sticking out there. I don't want that. Add some foam on here. Thank you. And then I did, because I can't help myself, try to not emboss and make you listen to it every video, right? Lucy, you say hello from Coon Rapids. Which state is that? Because I grew up not too far in Iowa from Coon Rapids, but I guarantee you that's not the one you're talking about. So, good morning, Lucy. I do want my sentiments to kind of touch just a little bit, so I'm kind of looking to decide, I want my butterfly here, but I just kind of liked that little bit of touch between the butterfly and the W for the wishing, just to give it a little bit of something, some sort of connection. So let me grab a little bit more foam tape. Cut just a little sliver off here. So we have just a little bit to go behind. Here and up here. And I debated a lot on my color of sentiment. If I wanted gold on dragon fruit, or I wanted the sugar cube with gold on it. They all were great, but it was just one of those things I had to decide. I had to pick one. So I let Taylor help me, and she said go with the white for this one, which I do like. And then this one I did the gold, but I did a drop shadow just to kind of bring in a little pop of color. Black I thought was a little too harsh, so I didn't go with black. But it's always just a personal preference as to what you like. So again, I'm going to make sure this is straight by looking at my grid lines here. Helps me. Before I adhere it down, I'll grab my ruler, because that's my favorite way to do this. Make sure I'm straight. It looks straight to me. There we go. And then that arch that we cut goes in here. I'll do some liquid glue for that. And you could have put that down before you put down the butterfly. Totally up to you. This happens to be the way I built it the first time also. Mainly because I got to this point and I thought, I just need another pop of gold. So we'll add that. Something I didn't do, just because I didn't have the patience to wait for it to dry, is these are gold splattered. I used our Starry colors from Gonzai, and I used the one that's called blue gold on the end here. I told Taylor we finally found the bottom of this. I finally, yesterday when I was using it, got to the very bottom. We've had this for years here at the office. I finally found the bottom of it though. So let's grab this. I didn't want to wait for it to dry today, just because I wanted to be able to move on, but the gold splatter I think adds a little dimension and brings the gold in again. Let's put this, and then I just dropped it in. Do like that little bit of extra gold that adds to the card. There we go. And then last but not least, I did use some of our new white rhinestones. I just love these. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the black ones. So I've been asking Taylor to bring the white ones in, and it came in with a kit for the moss, and I just love it. So let me put some, I'm just following up here. Normally I would set them down, make sure I like it, but being as I'm following this one, I don't have to do that. Following the one up above. So it's easier. I can just add the dots today. And the other one with the heart, I added just a little heart that I cut out of the gold foil cardstock. So whatever heart you have, there's little bits hearts. Those happen to be out of the little bit bigger set of dies that we brought out at Valentine's Day time. There we go. All right, I will say, I do wish I had done the gold splatter, because I think that just adds something. Here, I'll hold these up. Adds just a little something more to it. So anyway, these are the ones I photographed, and they'll share online for you. This one is the one without the splatter, if you're not so much into splatter. So let me bring all three cards back in. Well, the three that, this is what I did today. Bring this one back in. Still looks pretty green, but I mean, I like it. It's just, I wanted that blue to show through. There we go. There we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you love that the Let's Make Art kit is back. I'm so excited about it. I just love all the color, all the possibilities, all the rainbow possibilities. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. This Throwback Thursday brought that back as much as I did. And I do not have any tea to spill for you. I apologize. We did not coordinate that for today. So I hope you have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Go Cyclones tonight. Someone else is saying it. So thanks for joining.